Om Sarva-Vedanta Siddhante Gocharam Dhamma-Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham. Verse number 504, please. Chhaya sprushtam ushnam va Sitam va sushtu dushtu va Naspurushat yeva yat kinchite Purusham tad vilakshanam Nasakshinam sakshya dharma Sanspurushanti vilakshanam Avikaaramudasinam Gruha-dharma pradipavate Nasakshinam sakshya dharma Sanspurushanti vilakshanam Avikaaramudasinam Gruha-dharma pradipavate. Beautiful. So here the whole presentation is so beautiful in this book that you can, as a student, identify with the student who approached the teacher for the knowledge. Then, as the teacher goes on unfolding this truth, as even the student in the Vivekachudamani goes on asking, thinking, questioning, you also go on along with that. So by the time the teaching is over, the doubts are also over. And now the student is reveling, now you also continue to revel. So this is where you can see the transition, not in the truth, but in the condition of the mind. Even when you did not know yourself, you were same. After understanding yourself, you are the same. When the body was young, body is adult, body is going to be old, it will be same. What has happened is, previously, the mind, that is the whole apparatus of the body and the mind, were looking through the sense organs into the external world, various perceptions were being gathered, and in that, mano, buddhi, chittam, ahankar, the mind, the intelligence, the memory, and the I thought, they are playing the vital role, and especially the I thought, ahankar, the ego, the I thought, not knowing about itself, using, misusing every type of thought, impressions, physical body, sense organs, was literally torturing and being tortured, tormenting the sense organs and being tormented by it. That is how the individual was living. Tired of this suffering, pain, frustration, approaches a teacher. What is this knowledge? How do I get out of this? Kathamastyupayam. How do I get out of this? Is there any way to get out of this creation, this suffering, sense of limitation? And the teacher starts the instruction. And when the person understands, when the student understands it, this mind goes through the transition. There is a change. That is where it is not picking up new ideas that will bless you, but learning to use the new ideas, where the I thought previously was taking itself to be a thought and using or being used by other thoughts. By using the thought, in fact, itself was manipulated. Understand the subtlety of that statement. When you depend on a sense object, the sense object is not exploited. You are being exploited. When you are drinking alcohol and make yourself an alcoholic, you think you have been drinking, but in reality, you think you have been enjoying the drinking, but in fact, you have been manipulated by the drink. By your habit, you get manipulated. If you don't know how to use a vehicle and you are driving that car, in fact, you are driven by ignorance, you are driven by some type of obsession. So even though you think you are enjoying, in fact, you are being driven by an obsession. That is the ignorant person. So when the person sees himself, who he is, and no more thoughts are manipulating, nor you are manipulating the thought, in a sense, there is no search for pleasure or pain anymore in the external world. So you are not unnecessarily tormenting your body because you are not tormented by ignorance. So when you thus see yourself who you are, then all the thoughts continue to exist. Your sense organs continue to exist. Body continues to exist. Creation also is beautiful. But you are no more affected. So that is the example he gives beautifully. Chayaya sprushtam ushnamba sitamba shushtuva dushtuva na sprushati eva yat kinchit purusham tad vilakshanam. Chayaya sprushta, touched by the shadow, whether it is cold snowfield or hot desert. The shadow falls on that. Body remains far away, untouched. Sushtuva, dushtuva. Something very auspicious, inauspicious. Something comfortable, uncomfortable. Because the shadow is falling on the water, the shadow doesn't drown. But anyway, the tree is not, the body is not affected. Because wherever the shadow goes, shadow falls, the body remains unaffected by that. That is why when you are walking, you don't make way for the shadow also. The body only walking. You don't make way for the shadow. Exactly in the same way also, nasprushati yat kinchit, it doesn't touch the Purusha, it doesn't touch the body. Shadow goes over it. In the same way, Purusham tad vilakshanam. So Purusha, the human body, which is the tad vilakshanam, different from that shadow, doesn't get affected, touched by anything around. So also, this Chidavasa, the I thought, whatever it passes through, the physical body, sense organ, sense object, perception takes place, sensations take place, impressions take place, Purusha, Chaitanya awareness, tad vilakshanam, which is different from this I thought or any other thought, doesn't get affected at any time. And this is what you should continue to see in life. Please appreciate. Your whole living should be so beautiful that the moment there is an unnatural affectation, anger, hatred, jealousy, some type of disharmonious built up, immediately you start looking at yourself and don't look at others. Usually people say, that man triggered this woman triggered this, that situation triggered this. No, please understand. Situations do not come up to trigger anger or hatred, jealousy in you. Situations have no mind of their own. Situations happen. You get triggered. Understand? Yes, there shall be two different types of expressions. There is cool weather, body feels comfortable. There is a comfortable feeling with the body. When it's very hot, there will be uncomfortable feeling. So, understand. That is just the reporting. Hot, cold. That emotions that get triggered, oh, it is so hot, I don't know what to do with it, I cannot live with it, oh, it's so very difficult. No, it is hot. You can do something about it, but you don't add more heat to your life. Oh, it's so cold, I don't know what to do with the cold. No. These heavy reactions and built-ups, which you yourself despise on others, you don't appreciate in others. Like suppose there is a child, think child's behavior you observe, then you will understand it better. Suppose there is a child with you, and it goes on insisting, Mummy, balloon. 1 foot goes, Mummy, balloon. Goes 3 feet, comes back and says, no, I want balloon. He goes there. What do you say? What are you doing? No balloon. You get angry with him, no? You don't allow him to build up, because if you allow him to build up, until home he'll go balloon. He'll cry for the whole day. Balloon. You somehow cut it off for the child and you say, forget that. Okay, come on, take this chocolate. Oh, now baby is lost in that. You cut it off so nicely. What about yourself? So hot. Oh, it's so hot. I don't know what to do with it. God only knows. Why so much hot? What are you doing? Are you getting that point? That unconscious built up. You must see. Because people think they are being normal. They are being very normal. You know, you are getting angry, you are getting upset, you are getting jealous. It's not that, I'm not telling you, don't be jealous, don't be angry. No. That is a silly advice. It can come up. But when it comes up, you are not supposed to add fuel to the fire and go on building up. The moment it comes up in life, sit down and observe why this is happening. Don't ask the other, don't say, that fellow only triggered me. I was sitting down quietly, this fellow came and only did like that. That's right. So what he did is wrong. But why are you punishing yourself? Understand? Very simple. Something can be done about it, do about it. So, anyway, So, nasprushati tad vilakshanam, it doesn't touch. What happens is, for average people, please understand, for average person, unless there is a mental built up, there will be no action taken. Why people get into the understand? Suppose there is a natural acceptance of everything, you will not struggle to change the situation. That is where, like think of a aggressive barbarians in a civilization. No food to eat, like Mongols, Huns, those days. Mongolia completely cut off from everything. So it was a hardy tribe, Timur-Lane and others. So continuously struggling for food, shelter, trying to escape the harsh atmosphere. Now, people who are living in Indo-Gangetic plain, near the Tigris, all the river valley civilizations, if you look at around the world, very simple and quiet. Why? Water is there, food is there. What else you need? Once you plant the paddy, have a dance festival. Once you harvest the paddy, another harvest festival. Before the harvest and after the harvest and before the plantation, another 2 months festival. There is nothing else to do. Food is there, so there is no reason to kill each other. So it's a peaceful civilization. So they don't understand what aggression means. Whereas the people who are not getting food to eat, life is full of uncertainty. Now they are struggling. So now they come, want to, because they can't produce food, they have to steal food. So the person comes, destroys, that whole civilization is destroyed. They come and attack, become very aggressive. We call them barbarians, no culture, no nothing, because always living under the open sky, running on the horses, hardy, strong people. These people very protected. They are not exposed to hardship, so they are not also hardened in their heart. Now what will happen? Suppose they come, these people say, no reactions. Now can you defend? Becomes difficult. That is why a peace-loving country or a peace-loving humanity, civilization, can very well be trounced by the aggressive people. Because the aggressive person doesn't mind destroying, the peace-loving person will find it very difficult even to consciously destroy somebody. I know we should defend, but even defending becomes difficult because you are not used to that type of aggressiveness. That is why culture plays such an important part. Imagine the cultures. Other day, when you are seeing, I don't know, I went to Warwick Castle in London, in England. In the castle, there was an underground. I really did not want to go in, because that was the torture chamber. They have maintained it, kept it as it is. You should see the contraptions that are hanging there. How to torture people. Ayyo. The person, for him to, for somebody to invent that type of torture machine, the mind must be gruesome. If there is one person talks anything against the king, there is an iron frame made just like head, hand, body, that will be opened up and the fellow will be put inside, pressed, locked, hanged until he dies. No food, no nothing. He can't even talk, shout. Just imagine. It's really time the world understands. It's not only in that Warwick Castle. I mean, most of the countries those days, and especially people are aggressive. So all the aggressive cultures, where there was absolutely nothing, insecurity, so war, battle, torturing each other, destroying each other, natural. There is no flourishing of music, art, painting, sculpture, nothing. Because there is no leisureliness. Understand? So such people, suppose they descend on you. That is where, if at all you say Vedanta, Upanishads, if you want to find a negative point, this becomes the negative point. Because you become unfit to live in an aggressive world. That's a very unfortunate part, but that's how it is. You become really totally unfit to live in an aggressive world. Because even if you are destroyed, to allow yourself to that type of built up and then to hit back, very tough. That is why people say you are not very practical. Because when somebody is hitting you, you should hit them back. Eye for an eye. Foot for a foot. Hand for a hand. Now imagine. It's just you can't imagine. But if there are, that is why in today's world today, terrorists are winning. Because more people are peace-loving. In any society also, more people are peace-loving. Few people are terrorists, but they terrorize the whole society. Like in your home, there may be 5 people, but one child is a bully. He fixes up everybody. Only one bully. There is only one fellow who is a bully. He keeps everybody under control. Because others cannot grow up to that, they don't have that heart to grow up and really hit him. Becomes very difficult. Okay, he will change, he will change, he will change. In the process, he destroys everything. That is why these peace-loving cultures around the world, they are not aggressive. That is why, again, proselytization, which is literally a huge, it's almost like a, insensitivity, total insensitivity to other person's life, surrounding and other things. Where you aggressively destroy a culture. Just think of it. Why am I telling that? Please understand, friends. The time has come in this world, in a globalized situation, everything to flourish. Just imagine, suppose you want to push a particular religion or a particular philosophy. Think. There is already a set of people who are following it. Look at that. Is there anything substantial, something good has happened there? No. Then why are you pushing it all over? Are you getting that point, please? I say everybody must be rich. All right, look at the riches. There are some people who are already rich. There is some society which is maybe $10,000 per annum per capita income. Look at that society. Countries, highest per capita income, highest suicide rate. Highest per capita income, highest divorce rate. Highest per capita income, highest drug addiction, alcoholism. Highest per capita income, highest obesity, broken home, broken families. Then what is the idea of telling everybody must be rich? Are you getting that point, please? Same way, following a particular faith or a religion, if you say that will solve everybody's problem, all right, let us take a sample. There is one particular country, there are so many people are following it. What has happened to them? Nothing. Then why are you carrying it all over the world? But the force that comes to you is an aggressive force. Now, at that time, suppose somebody says, and if I give my logic, what is that? That there is Sustuba, Dustuba, Usnamba, Sitamba, now there is hot or cold. Hot doesn't trigger the heat doesn't trigger the emotion. You are triggering the emotion, don't trigger. Now, instead of it's a climate, it's now a person. Now, person becomes aggressive and he hits you. Now, if you say somebody is hitting you or somebody is loving you, that is both are no problem. You are the one getting triggered unnecessarily inside. Now the person says, what are you talking? So somebody hits you, if you don't feel hit, how are you going to take a defensive action? So with your wisdom, you will allow yourself to be completely destroyed. And by destroying yourself, you are allowing the ignorance to flourish. That is why in Bhagavad Gita we shall see. After this is over, we will start the Gita. We will see that Krishna, aggressive goodness. The aggressive goodness. When the other persons, the barbarians, the uncivilized, the uncultured, when their aggressiveness destroys everything, the aggressiveness of a good man, wise man, nourishes everything. Because, imagine, a weed is aggressively overtaking everything. If the flower beds aggressively take over, what will happen? Simple example. The weed takes over aggressively, and which it does. Every greenery, every tree, everything is gone. Why? Weed, weed, weed all over. But suppose rose beds aggressively take over. How it will be? They aggressively took over the weeds. I went to New Zealand. New Zealand, there is one particular weed has gone. It's a yellow flower with small trees, yellow flower. It has completely taken over the country. Even in Australia, the Indian myna has taken over in Australia now. That myna, that small bird, somebody has taken it to Australia and that is now taking over Australia. Aggressive, very aggressive they have become. Now imagine, peacocks are aggressively taking over. How nice it will be. Macaws aggressively take over. How nice it is. But always, if somehow nature's principles, if you look, weeds aggressively take over. Other trees are not aggressive. Good plants are not aggressive. Very delicate. They have to be planted, cared for, then only it may give one flower. The weeds, you don't have to worry. By itself it grows. Ignorance is like that. Wisdom is like a very, very superlative, rare flower, as though. But make that one aggressive, how beautiful it will be. Anyway, therefore, observe yourself. When I say, you must see it very clearly, that just because there is a situation, you don't have to be aggressive about it, reacting about it. But unless you react, unless you are conscious, you are not going to take a step towards the prevention of it. Therefore, you know what to do. I am happy with myself, but if I allow something to hit my body, I know body is not me. So when somebody hits my body, I shall say, oh good, go, take it. I am not the woman. Say, why last night somebody has stolen everything from the house. I am not the house. And by chance somebody takes it, and if you complain, he say, what? You say if you are not the home, so why are you affected by the when the car is stolen? You are not the car. You have a car. You are not the car. So what you have is taken away. Why are you worried? Good. You give me back my philosophy in such a stupid way. This is for your understanding very clear. But as I told you, these things will not give me happiness. For my happiness, I don't depend on it. For my sustenance, I depend upon it. So whatever you depend on for your sustenance, that also must be protected for its own sake. By taking it away, you are not going to make me unhappy, but you shall make my life uncomfortable. Therefore, to prevent that discomfort, I protect it. Not for my happiness. I can happily go through comfort, happily go through discomfort. But you should not cause me discomfort. If I don't have it, that's my choice. If I am going to live under a tree, that's my choice. But you don't take away my house and then facilitate my living under a tree. That's not your job. This is where respect for others comes up. So, if you go on thinking, you shall see what a beautiful way of thinking it is. Everybody happy with himself, you decide what you want to do. Oh, who can give you this freedom? Constitutional freedom, somebody can give it. But by that, they can only control the outside, which is necessary, nothing wrong. But the freedom within, nobody can guarantee it to you. You have to discover it for yourself and live your life. Okay. Then having told this, now next one he says, Na sakshinam sakshya dharma sansprusanti vilakshanam. Sakshinam, sakshya dharma na sprusanti. Sakshi, witness. Sakshya, which is witnessed. Sakshya dharma, all that is seen doesn't affect the seer. When you see the flood doesn't overtake you. If you see the rain doesn't drench you. If you are under the tree and looking under the roof, looking at the tree. The example, Sakshinam, Sakshya dharmana sprusanti. Same way, creation is seen. Eyes are the witness. Eyes are seen. Thoughts are witness. Thoughts are seen. I thought witness. I thought is seen. Don't say, I am the witness. Then will be another thought. So ultimately, consciousness, yourself, is the witness of everything. But there you don't have to say, I am the witness to be the witness. And that doesn't get touched by anything that it illumines, anything that it witnesses. The I thought, other thoughts, body, mind, creation. Avikaram udasinam gruhadharma padibhavate. So sakshinam, avikaram udasinam, sakshinam, who is avikara, no modifications of any kind, udasina, always existing as it is, without any reaction whatsoever. To that, anything that is witnessed doesn't touch. Like, gives you an example. Guru dharma pradeepavat. Pradeepa, there is in the house, there is a lamp. The lamp illumines everything in the house. There is a party going on, everybody is dancing. It illumines. Now everybody is tired, the light doesn't get tired. Everybody sleeps, the light doesn't sleep. Everybody goes away, the light doesn't go away. The light illumines the emptiness, illumines the crowd, illumines their dance, illumines their tiredness, illumines their sleep. But it doesn't get affected by anything that happens in the house. In the same way, in this house of the body or the universe, the light of consciousness illumines a massive changing universe. The thoughts of every kind. Now the body is active, illumines. The body is asleep, illumines. Dreaming, illumines. Thoughts, illumine. Everything is witnessed, but itself avikaram udasinam. I am the witness all the time. Having told, now he says, gives an example further. Just in the same thing, you can go on and on like that. Rabir yatha karmani sakshi bhavaha. Vanner yatha dayanyamagatvam. Rajyor yatharo pitavastu sangaha. Tathaiva kutastha chidatmano me. Raver yatha karmani sakshi bhavaha. Vanner yatha dahanyamagatvam. Rajyor yatharo pitavastu sangaha. Tathaiva kutastha chidatmano me. Right. Me kutastha chidatmanaha. For me, who is kutastha. Kutastha is a beautiful word. Kutastha means kutavat tishtati. Kutastha. Kuta, like an anvil. In your blacksmith's place, you shall see the anvil, on which the blacksmith, the ironsmith, will heat the iron in a furnace. Then he takes it away and put it on that big piece of iron, anvil. Then bang, bang, bang and shape it up. A very heated iron rod will take the shape of a sickle, an axe, anything. It will take the shape of anything. So when they do that, the example is when the anvil remains very steady, but allows all the shapes and changes to take place on it, itself never changes. Suppose it one bang, not only the hot iron changes, that also goes into out of shape. Then what is the idea? So it allows all the changes to take place on it, itself is changeless. Same way, me chidabhasa kutastha, for me, which is that anvil, pure consciousness that I am in, kutastha chidatmanaha, kutasthasya me, for me, which is Atma, pure consciousness, in that all the thoughts are taking various shapes. Myself remain totally unaffected, like gives you 3 examples. Rabehe yatha karmani shakshi bhava. Ravi, the sunshine, the sun. Karmani shakshi bhava. The sun illumines all activities in the earth. Now there is a battle, there is a fight, there is a war. Now there is a football game, now there is a Olympics, now there is tennis, now there is marriage. A huge celebration, huge disaster. The sun illumines it all. Doesn't get affected by it. Banner yatha dahyanyamagatvam. Banni, the fire, indiscriminately, it helps everybody. If the thief sets a fire, the fire cannot say, thief, I am not going to burn it. Only wise man, good boy, sets the fire, I will cook his food. When this bad boy touches it, no, I am not burning. He doesn't care. Whether you are putting ghee into it or you are putting dirt into it, it burns down the whole thing. That is the Vanni. That is why fire is the symbol of knowledge. It takes away, burns away, papa, punya, right, wrong, good, bad, auspicious, inauspicious, every pair of opposite. The fire burns away. You put ghee, it will burn, it will put dirt also, it will burn. That is why the fire color stands for this. This ochre color is fire, color of the fire. That is why the color that is taken by the sadhus is the ochre color. Because it burns down everything. Right, wrong, good, bad, all pairs of opposites. Absolute. Anyway, Rajjor yatha aropita vastu sangaha. Rajjor yatha aropita vastu sangaha. Rajju, the rope, Ajibin, doesn't get affected by imposed snake on it. You impose a snake on the rope, you impose a flower garland on the rope is untouched by the flower garland or the snake. Remains both one and the same. Coming to this point, I was already telling you the other day about 2 types of adhyas. This aropita, now I shall explain to you, okay? Just please see, the 2 types of things. There was, when you are, please see, first thing that take that word aropa. Aropa means adhyasa. Aropa means imposition. Adhyasa means atasmin tadbuddhi. Tasmin tadbuddhi jnanam. So see the rope as the rope, knowledge. Okay? Atasmin tadbuddhi, in the rope, if you see a snake or anything else, that becomes the adhyasa. And there are 2 types of adhyasa. I was telling you, one is arthadhyasa, other is jnanadhyasa. Arthadhyasa means, please, arthadhyasa means, artha like a vastu. On the rope, arthadhyasa, the snake is projected. The snake is arthadhyasa. When you are looking at it, in your jnanadhyasa also take place. Jnanadhyasa is, it should be rope, but on the rope you are seeing the snake. So your knowledge also is, now is imposed. So your suffering is complete. You are seeing the snake there where it is not. And you take that thought to be real, which is not. So your suffering is complete. Okay? Now, when you look at the rope and the snake goes away, what happens? Arthadhyasa goes away. The imposition of the snake completely goes away. Jnanadhyasa, what happens? It becomes counteracted. Because it remains as a memory. Hey, I am stupid. I saw the snake. Chah, it was a mistake. So it is now counteracted. That you may continue to think about the incident, but the incident doesn't touch you. Okay? Acha. That is why Jnana Adhyasa, when you see the truth as it is, arthadhyasa goes away, jnanadhyasa doesn't affect you. Like you see the blueness in the sky. When you see the blueness in sky, now where is the adhyasa? Imposition is outside. Jnana-adhyasa also inside. That you see now, that is a blue sky. Now the moment you see it as it is, can you see the blue? Listen carefully. Can you see the blue sky without the blueness? Can you see the sky without blueness ever? But you can see the rope without the snake. So there the arthadhyasa continues. In the sky, the blueness continues, but jnana-adhyasa is counteracted. Jnana-adhyasa is counteracted because in your perception, blueness continues, but your knowledge, it is counteracted. You know it is not truth. Same way, in case of creation, the arthadhyasa continues. Even after you understand the reality, body continues, thoughts continue, mind continue, memories continue, perception continues, but no more you are affected by it because jnana-adhyasa gone. That imposition goes away. Okay? So once you see this, everything continues, but as even the rope remains unaffected by the snake, consciousness unaffected by all that is imposed upon it. Okay? Having seen that, now go into the next one. Kartapi va karayitapi naham bhoktapi va bhojayitapi naham drashtapi va darshayitapi naham soham swayam jyoti anidrugatma kartapi va karayitapi naham bhoktapi va bhojayitapi naham drashtapi va darshayitapi naham soham swayam jyoti anidrugatma. So that is what, since I am the witness, aham na karta napi karayita. Neither I do nor I make anybody do anything. Meaning, I am akarta. Absolutely no doership of any kind. Pure existence consciousness. Same way, na bhokta na bhojayita. Neither I enjoy nor I make somebody enjoy things. No doership of any kind. This is total meditation. You are being with yourself. Having seen it, then you take the role of a karta, bhokta, karayita, bhojayita. See, once you know the actor, which role is difficult? Come on. Are you getting that? Once you are the actor, every role becomes beautiful. But if you have identified yourself with one role, then every other role becomes difficult. Why today modern man finds it extremely difficult? Think. Because modern man has got a huge identity with a professional role. In olden times, there was not strong identity, understand. There was ignorance always, there shall be ignorance always, no problem. But this strong identity is not there. That is when the people don't have a strong identity, strong personality, it is easier to live with them. It's easier to change them, move with them. Why everybody enjoy children? However stubborn it is, you can somehow bring him round. That's why everybody is happy with the children. You are also happy with a person who sees your standpoint and comes around to your standpoint. See things clearly. Suppose you are not a dictator. Whatever I say, everybody must see. You are not that type of thing. Whatever I say, this is what it is. You see for yourself. Now suppose you see the truth of it and come around. You feel very happy, very comfortable. Understand? But today's generation, children are curse of the parents. Why? Because whatever the parents want to say, the children don't see. Because he has his own standpoint. Imagine, nowadays, this spike. The children come with spikes on their hairstyle. The spikes, and a red color, yellow color, brown color. And shaven half of this side, half the other side. Then the totally inconvenient places that the hooks are also put. Just imagine. And the fellow is also have a beer bottle always in hand, and drugs there, and he has tattoos all over the body like that. Just think of it. How do the parents feel? Think of it. Whatever you tell him, he has got totally another standpoint. He will make you feel that you have come from some caves, as though what he is living through is the ultimate, the latest in civilization. So that person, cannot just think of it. And what the person is going through, what the child is going through, that is the ultimate. What is so stubborn, they will never come around. The father is peaceful, the mother is peaceful, they don't want to create any problem for anybody. Look at the children, become a curse. Why? A strong individuality. Suppose there are people who are amenable, available for discussion. It becomes easier to live with them. That is why when you take one role to be the actor and very strong identity in that, becomes very difficult to talk to that person. Either is a professional identity, think of it. I am the PhD, I am the professor, I am the doctor, I am the musician, I am the dancer. A very strong identity. Or I am rich, very rich. So sheer disregard for everything else. I am rich. What is so big deal in singing? I can bring any singer to sing in my parlor. How much you need? 100,000? Throw it, bring the fellow, let him sing. Let him dance. How much respect you have for the artists? Nothing. Why? You can purchase everybody. Think of a society where the identity is in riches. Identity is in the role of any kind. We are developed society, developing society, poor or rich or something. When people have this identification and the whole world focuses on that. So the person who has is miserable, person who doesn't have also is miserable. Why? Because he doesn't have that power. When you highlight, are you getting that? When you highlight that as a culture, respecting people for what they have and not for who they are, you are pushing people into trouble. So unconsciously the educational system, the religious systems, pushing people into crisis. And psychology or any branch of knowledge which deals with the mind, in the absence of an acceptance of an absolute, also goes on a merry-go-round from one role to another role, one role to another role. Tells you to drop the role, but how? Nobody knows. That is where comes the understanding. So huge difficulty comes. Common sense says you drop the role, but nobody knows how. That is why all these books, that is New Age books, tremendous common sense. You want to be friendly with people, don't disagree, but how? If you have a sense of ego, there will be conflict. So drop the ego. How? Everybody knows the solution, but how? This is where Upanishads become so beautifully. The whole understanding. Accept everything, go into the I. Please see that, In any generation, and more so in our generation, because we are professionally trained. The secular education, which has its blessings, because it makes you mathematician, historian, physicist, gives us a lot of information on every other thing, thereby definitely makes life more comfortable, but pushes you into a realm of very strong individuality. That is where you need, you bring a religion which emphasizes on compassion, kindness, because the person doesn't know how to do. So you call it as a religious discipline and becomes an ideal to live in, not a realist, not some type of realism. I should be compassionate. I can't be. I should be nice. I can't be. You understand why the people go through hell? In the absence of the picture of a luxurious living, you shall be very comfortable in your hutment, because the other alternative is not known. But the moment somebody puts up the luxurious alternative, suddenly you discover you are poor. Previously you never thought you are poor. The more educated you are, the more knowledgeable you are, you shall automatically discover how much you don't know. So the sense of inferiority becomes very, very strong. Either you succumb to it or you defy it. If you succumb to it, inferiority complex. If you defy it, superiority complex. So people who see the reality, true, I am educated, so what? There are so many people who know so many things, so you are permanently disabled inside. Inferiority complex. You know so much, but still you have got inferiority complex, because I cannot know everything. The other person road rolls it. It's a nonsense. Whatever I know is enough. I don't have to know anything more. Superiority complex. Understand? Psychologically, you become you are totally destroyed. It gives you the knowledge, but does not deal with this identity crisis. Individuality which picks up every role. So instead of feeding the individuality, help the individuality know itself. That culture doesn't exist everywhere. Around the world the culture is feed the individuality, or if it's a secular culture, feed the individuality, make him strong. You become selfish, totally, iconoclastic, where your only icon is you. You go through problem, or go become religious, where you believe in a God and give up your individuality. Solution is, believe in a God and give up your individuality. The person who has tested the solidness, strength of the individuality will find it extremely difficult to give up. In the moments of helplessness, he may give up. Again, it comes back. He doesn't know what to do. That is why religion also, the imaginary surrender to an imaginary God doesn't solve the problem. That is why you have to, just like for a lie to be kept up, you have to continuously talk about it. Such type of faith must be continuously harangued in a sort of pushed. Why? Because if you don't talk about it, everybody will forget it. The truth about yourself, listen carefully, the truth about yourself, once you hear, you don't have to hear again and again. This is you. What am I talking about it? Swamiji, what time the class? Class for what? Completing the book? Yes. Knowing the truth? No. Why? One is enough. More informations? Okay, this book, that book, okay, we shall pick up. Nothing wrong. But the truth in the first day is the same truth at the last day. As I told you, if you don't understand the word Atma in Tattva Bodh, you are not going to understand in Bhagavad Gita or Brahma Sutra. Books have changed, but truths have not changed. Same word. Understand the beauty, sir. Why today's world is so much traumatized? Because total identity crisis. Total identity crisis. The person doesn't know anything about himself, stubbornly holding on to a role. That is why religious ego fighting with secular ego. Secular ego fighting with religious ego. And there is interpersonal, not only interpersonal. I am secular, you are religious. Not only you are fighting, the same fellow sometimes secular, sometimes religious. Again another nonsense. Intrapersonal fighting. As long as there is, listen, very simple principle. As long as there is intrapersonal fight, that is fighting inside you, you cannot escape interpersonal fight. Very simple, very, very simple. As long as there is an intrapersonal fight, one side of you doesn't accept the other side of you. So you are going through hell. Whoever supports the powerful side of you will be your friend. Whoever invokes the weaker side of you shall be your enemy. Because you have got both. Are you getting that? Inside there is a fight. I am happiness or I like chocolate. Which one is right? Like chocolate or I am happiness? Happiness or I like chocolate? Okay, so you are fighting inside. You are struggling inside. One person says, nothing like chocolate, man. Good boy. Why? It tells you what you like to listen. Another person inside you say, no, we should not take chocolate. But you know it's difficult. Other person, you must not eat chocolate. Idealistic. You are going through fight. But you are already naming him idealistic. Why? Because you can't do it. Understand? As long as there is intrapersonal fight, meaning I has taken so many roles. One role fights with the other role. I as the waker wants to wake up. I as the sleeper don't want to get up. So there is a fighting between the waker and the sleeper. Shall I wake up or shall I sleep? But if you stand away from both, you decide, waking, going to sleep, sleep, get up. That type of life yours become. Suppose you feel like sleeping, somebody says, sleep, nothing wrong. That man is very nice. The child wants to do homework or to play. He knows he should do the homework, but he wants to play. So the uncle says, go and play. Mommy says, go and do the homework. Who will the child love? Uncle. Because whatever you want to do, that's what he says. That is why religious people also provide these chocolates. What shall I do? Nothing. Just hold each other, Brahman will come. I'll hug you, everything is fine. I'll touch you, everything is no problem. You don't have to worry. Just hold your nose and breathe for 10 days every day. Thinking, you don't have to worry. Thinking is a waste of time. That's a complicated affair. Don't think. Thinking is useless. Mental activity, intellectual activity. I see. What do you think is creating problem for you? Your nose or your tail or your thinking? You can't escape facing your mind. However much you try, that's what you try to hoodwink people. And people also fall for it. Because who wants to go through the tough thing? Ultimately one day you have to go through, the fellow doesn't know. You know, there was one man, he was doing something mischief. So he was caught. So the king said, you shall be punished. 3 alternatives. 100 whips. Or you must eat 5 kilo onion in one go. Continuously eat 5 kilo onion. Forget 5 kilo. 1 kilo is enough. Why so much big? 1 kilo onion enough. 1 kilo onion. Another one is 10 gold sovereigns. The person was a thief. He has everything, but he doesn't want to give up. He said, why give 10 sovereigns unnecessarily? Better, and these whips also will be terrible. Just eat the onion and escape. He said, okay, I will eat the onion. Okay, eat the onion. He kept. First one, of course, he could eat finish easily. The second one going, oh. Third one, impossible. Fourth one, he started want to vomit and he's suffering and he could not. How can you eat raw onion? How much can you eat? Your mouth goes, your stomach crazy, you nauseating. Then he said, oh my God. Okay, gold I'm not going to part with. Take this whipping. Doesn't matter. Take the whipping. So he lies down. Boom. First one, oof, take it. Second one, take it. Third one, takes it. Fourth one, again begins now. Oh, difficult. Somehow suffers. Then the man says, shall I continue? Continue. Fifth, sixth, no, impossible. Impossible. Very difficult. Okay. Take the 10. Take the 10 gold sovereign. So he ended up eating the iron, eating the onion, getting whipped and paying the money also. So these people who think, no thinking, that is very, very difficult, like gold, very difficult. Ego giving up, nonsense. Thinking, changing, nothing, difficult. I shall take holding the nose. Vegetarianism. Hugging somebody or being hugged by somebody. Allowing people to touch wherever they want. So, I'll pray for 10 days. What happens? Every one of these nonsense you can do only for some days. After some time you will be tired. Why? Who gets tired? The I, individuality, gets tired of the practices. As it has been tired of sounds, touches, tastes, smells, it will get tired of practices also. cannot do this. That is why you can see people, they enroll themselves in 100 courses. Every course for 3 days. Every course. That yoga, this yoga, that yoga, something Kundalini yoga, some nose holding yoga, some ear holding yoga, or something, burying yourself under the tree, under the clay, or chanting yoga, singing, dancing, music, Or this is all useless. This yoga, asana is all useless. New age yoga, what is that? You should keep yourself inside a hot room. Hot yoga. Keep inside the hot room. More funny and bizarre it is, more attractive it looks for some time. So after paying through your nose everywhere, ultimately you have to come. Man, I have to fix up myself. Understand? There is no other way of solving the problem except fixing yourself. First you do, other hassles you will escape. But if you go into the other little tricks, you shall eat the onion, you will get the whip, and of course end up in giving the gold also. So that is where people becomes, they say, I have taken water in so many ghats, I tasted Ganges, tasted this, tasted that, tasted this. That's true. That's what life is. Because what can you do? Because even if the person is interested, the person comes, I am interested, I want to know. Misfortune is coming across wrong person who pushes you into something. Since the man is ignorant, he experiments. The person who is experimenting with life is not a criminal. He is ignorant and sincere. The person who is introducing him to the experiments is a criminal. Understand? No student is wrong. That is where the religions, the teachers, they go crazy because they are a version of reality. To such a person, if you say, your version of reality is okay, what about your version? It's not a version. Come on, argue, discuss. What is your concept of self? If only there will be a religious gathering, instead of trumpeting one's own glory, highlighting one's own mischiefs, if they sit down together to discuss, let us see what is good for all. What is that knowledge? Everybody sits down, finds out. You cannot escape. If you really pinpoint the problem is not the creation, not your body, not your thoughts. Only I thought. Understand about yourself. And what is your concept of self? The I. Most religions try to solve it by surrendering it to some god. Even in Hindu tradition, in this Vedic tradition, to a lower strata of intellect, where the person cannot challenge himself, there is also a belief system given to God, surrender. But for sometimes only you can surrender. Where later on, again you feel uncomfortable, because the I sits down there to say, I am surrendering. I have surrendered to God, but I am not getting the result. That statement will come. I have surrendered. I gave myself up, but I am not getting any result. Meditate and give up all your thoughts. I am meditating, I am trying to give up all my thoughts. I am trying to give up all my thoughts. You understand? When I am trying to give up all my thought, you keep all thoughts alive. Know yourself. So, once you know the actor, thereafter, every role, your secular role is beautiful, religious role is beautiful. Which religion you can identify with it? Any type of faith, any type of religion. You are comfortable with everybody. And that is how it should be. Are we not, see that, are we not comfortable with the dawn, the early morning sunlight, the 10 o'clock light, 12 o'clock thing, heat, scorching rays, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, dusk, night. You live through it all shades of colors, all shades of thoughts. You should be comfortable with. When? Only when you are like space. Akasavat lepa viduragoham. Like akas, like space, lepa viduraga. You don't get touched by anything. When you are like that, which religion you are not comfortable with? Which faith you are not comfortable with? Which thoughts you are not comfortable with? You are comfortable with everybody. As comfortable with vegetarians, that comfortable with non-vegetarians. As comfortable with idiots, that comfortable with smart people. As comfortable with rich, that comfortable with poor. As comfortable with a miserable person, that comfortable with a happy person. When you are miserable, you will not be comfortable with a happy person. Understand? That is why religious people who are miserable will not ever be comfortable with somebody who says he is happy. Because the fellow is miserable. So he shall say, how can you say I am happy? How can you say I am happiness? That is a crime. Because if you are miserable, you will not be comfortable with the happy people. Same way, the people who consider themselves rich and comfortable, they shall feel total at odds with the poverty. That is why rich people always keep away from poverty. Take them to a poverty-stricken place. Take them to a slum. Like many people, they cannot stand sickness. Take them to a hospital, the fellow will run away. Because he doesn't want to see somebody dead. Doesn't want to see somebody suffering. Because for him, richness, health is a weakness. Please understand, if you appreciate this, you will get into million psychological dimensions. Everywhere you are comfortable. Because you shall be comfortable with a fanatic. The fanatic will not be comfortable with you. That's a different game. You shall be comfortable with an idealist. Idealist will not be comfortable with you. You shall be comfortable with everybody. Why? Because you see their standpoints very clearly. Like I told you, that remember that example of the rectangle. Some says only 1, some says 11. Cut it off. How many rectangles you see? One says 1, say 5, some says 9. When you say 1, he will not be comfortable with 4. One with 4 cannot be comfortable with 5 or 7. One who sees 9, the maximum number. He accommodates everybody. Do you see 9? Yes. 7? Of course. 5? Of course. 4? Yes. 1? Yes. But the one fellow will not be comfortable with 5. Talking nonsense. Why is 5? Only 1. But there are 5. I am not ready to see it. Why? For millions of years, our tradition believes there is only one rectangle. Nuts. What can you talk? To this tradition bound, ignorance bound, stupid person, mind, power, poor thing. What can you convey? That is why the fellows, like the mind is already preoccupied. Foregone conclusions. Already biased. How can you talk to such mind? Difficult. Can you keep yourself open? Are you ready to be challenged? In fact, if you are really interested in truth, you should challenge every one of your ideas in life. No idea must be your shelter. No thought must be your security. No book, person, things, tradition should be your security. Yes, whatever is your security shall be your insecurity later on. So see it. That is why know yourself. And then play all the roles. Na bhokta na bhojayita. Drashtapi na aham na darshayita. Neither the seer nor I make somebody see. Soham Swayam Jyoti Anidrugatma. Aham Swayam Jyoti, self-luminous, pure consciousness. That indeed I am. Anidruk. It is something. Anidruk. Na idruk. You can't say it is like this. There is nobody like it. Therefore I can't say the self is like this. Anidruk Atma. Incomparable, pure consciousness. That indeed is myself. Is it? Chalatyupado pratibimbalaulyam upadhikam mudadhyo nayanti Swabimbabhutam ravivat vinishkriyam Kartasmi bhoktasmi hatosmi heti Chalatyupado pratibimbalaulyam Aupadhikam mudadhyo nayanti Swabimbabhutam ravivad vinishkriyam Kartasmi bhoktasmi hatosmi heti. So how does the person suffer? Now he tells you, this is how the person suffers in life. This is the cause of suffering. What is the cause of suffering? Chalati upadau pratibimba laulyam aupadhikam mudadhyo nayanti. Mudadhyaha, the intellect. Mudadhi, deluded intellect. The deluded intellects, what do they think? Mudadhyaha, what do they do? The deluded people? Chalati upadau, like in water is moving. Upadau chalati, that is upadhi, which is moving. Water is moving. Pratibimba laulyam, the sun is reflected. When the sun is reflected, the reflection is not moving. It is the water which is moving. But the deluded one thinks the sun is shattered. Doesn't understand the water is disturbed. Such beauty, you understand? See, you must see how many beautiful examples you see it in the lap of nature. That is why if you are with the trees, animals, people also, so nice, so nice. Nowadays children, computer, they don't understand tree. One fellow was asked, one child was asked, where do you get your milk? The boy said, fridge. He has not seen a cow or a cow being milked. Another real funny story is the child was standing in front of a gate and there is a horse-drawn cart. One horse had come carrying that. And the horse passed urine. And when the horseman comes, he tells, now you are in trouble. Why? Petrol is gone. The child doesn't understand that the horse is an animal. So he thinks it's like a car, so the petrol is gone, now he'll be in trouble. No, you may, something, of course you must laugh, but this is what true for the children. They don't see anything. No trees, no animals. Everything is computer game, Nintendo, Ninja, Turtle, right? Think of it. Observe nature, being with the nature. So many things you pick up. Really, somebody, when, if you ask me, suppose before getting this knowledge, of course, it's a different thing. When you get this knowledge, all right, I'm happy, I can sit down as long as I like. But where from, if you say me, is there any place which really could help you to get this type of concentration or being with yourself? I'll give an example. In a sense, in my childhood, I remember very clearly. We are not allowed to fishing. If you go fishing, it's not the right thing to do, because fishing, you should not do fishing. Fishing means only fishermen should do. So you are landlord, you should not do fishing, because you are supposed to only eat and make big belly. You are not supposed to work anyway. It's a huge stupid thing. So if we are caught while putting that angling thing, oh boy, we'll be beaten up. But somehow I liked that angling. Everybody is doing it, so I also want to do. So our boy who was working with us, one boy was working, looking after our cows. So he will go. So I'll give him the angling rod. He will take and go. So even he takes, nobody questions. I'll tell him where to go. So he goes there and sits down. I go later on and join. For hours. You have to go on looking at that marker. The moment the fish comes, touches, whoa, you have to hit it. When it goes away, and you can sit down for hours, undisturbed. You don't know anything. Sometimes the snake will pass through that way, we will not look at it. What is the time for, hey, I'm not there, so everybody go fishing now. Huh? It's not like that. But what is the time for this type of thing? Watch. Just sit down, go and lie down under a mango tree in the mango season, because mango will fall. In the whole afternoon, 2 mangoes may fall. But you are sleeping under the tree for 2 hours. Mango. Why? Nothing else to do. Ask the children to sit down for 5 minutes in one place. They must do something, just like parents. Parents are restless, children also restless. Right, you can say, because of that, big hospital, big everything has come. Everybody lying down under the tree, what are they doing when they were dying? True. There was no disease, there was a problem, disease were there, hunger was there. That must be fixed, you can't just be idealistic. But can you balance of this as well as that? So when you see this example, the tree and the water is running, the reflection is steady. But because the water is going crazy, the reflection also is going crazy. Now same way you can see for yourself. In this body, mind of water, in this body pot, in the mind of water, as though the consciousness is the thoughts which are moving. I am not moving, but Moodadiyaha, the deluded one, ignorant one, not knowing about himself, he thinks with the thought he is also moving. Very simple example. You look for yourself. Can you be distracted without a thought? Try. Try. Try to be distracted without a thought. Don't remember something and be miserable. Unless remembering something is a solution. I'm not talking that type of thing. Don't think of your home and miss it. Come. Miss something about which you have no thought. Come on. Are you getting that? Please. So thoughts will change. Thoughts will be there. So if you recognize the nature of thought, that is how changing. But I am not changing with it. In the moments of physical experiences like angling, observing a sunrise, a sunset, looking at a mountain, most people unconsciously stay with them. That is how they survive in life. When your home is too much, you go for a walk in the park. When there is a huge argument in the family, you go and sit down by the riverside for half an hour and come back. When there is a fight in your bedroom, you go to the balcony, have a little air and stay there for some time, breathe hard and then come back. What are you doing? Unconsciously going into yourself. Then what do you say? Oh, I find it so invigorating to walk alone in the park. Naturally, because you are going to yourself. Can you do it consciously? In those moments, if you can use that word, like moments of intimations with immortality. Very simple. And most people, those who don't believe in that type of God which is sitting somewhere beyond the cloud, if you ask them, he said, I don't believe in a cloud, I don't believe in a God beyond the cloud or anything, but in my peaceful moment, I'm very happy with myself. I think that's my God. Most people, secular people, will talk in that language. But that doesn't again solve the problem, because that becomes one moment, just half an hour in 24 hours day. So 23 and a half hours of misery. That is why the knowledge is essential. When you see that, no thought becomes a problem. So as even Chalito upadho, chalati upadho, pratibimba laulyam upadikam mudadiyo nayandi. The person who is deluded thinks that the reflection is disturbed, not knowing that the water in which is reflected is disturbed. Same way, like the sun which is high in the sky, the reflection is in the water. Water is disturbed. The reflection appears to be disturbed, but in reality, if the water is disturbed and the sun high above the sky, always steady, no reflection, no water. In the body pot, in the water of mind, sun of consciousness, always reflected. Just an example, not that is reflected, it is not through everything. But when the sun is, when the body is changing, or when the mind is changing, it looks as though I am changing. That is why people identify with every thought. The mind is angry, the thought is built up, I am angry, upset, jealous. Your moods in the mind, you take yourself to be. No, you take yourself to be who you are. And upadhi as it is. Then, if you don't do that, what will happen? You will be crying like this. Identifying the upadhi, you shall say, Karta asmi, I am the doer. Bhokta asmi, I am the enjoyer. Ha hatosmi, ha, aha, ayyo, hatosmi, I am hot, I am heat. H-I-T. I am hit by life, I am hurt by life. Ha hatosmi, I am wounded, killed, destroyed in life. All with the thoughts. When you say you are wounded, what does it mean? Think. Somebody says, I am an idiot. I am really wounded. Who you are is untouched by the arrow of words. What is the question of wounding the consciousness? If you are wounded, are you getting that point? If you are wounded because you made the target available. Ask the question. You made the target available. If you don't make a target available, nobody can hit you. If there is no individuality, hit the fellow. Let's see. Why don't you tell a child, hey, you rascal, you rogue, you stupid? The child will be simply hanging around. He doesn't understand what you are talking. The same one, when he grows up, tell him, you are a lazy one, immediate retaliation. You are lazy. Why? Now he is a target. A target can be hit, listen carefully. A target can be hit. If you feel hit, H-I-T, you have made yourself a target. Bigger the target you make yourself to, bigger is your hit. Anything can hit you. I'm a man also, I'm an Indian also, I'm a husband also, I'm a brother also, I'm a father also. Suppose every identity you identifying with, then every statement will hit you. Something about India, it will hit you. Something about the fathers, it will hit you. Something about officers, it will hit you. Something about educated people, it will hit you. Something about religious people, it will hit you. Something about religious secular people, it will hit you. But suppose there is somebody who doesn't have much prominent roles anywhere except me, my family. If you say Indians are crazy, must be. All the rich fellows are rascals. Yeah, they are rascals. Why? Because it doesn't touch him. The men are all rascals. Must be. Because you don't have a strong identity with being a man or a woman. But your strong identity with your position. Engineer. I'm the managing director. I think these technically trained professionals are all rogues. Don't talk nonsense. Why? That is the only one which hits you. So a person who feels hit always in life, what does it mean? Huge target. So, ignorant means, so what is the solution? The psychology or religion or something somewhere, what will they say? No target, don't make an individuality of yourself. I see. The solution is disappear. Disappear means what? Understand yourself who you are and know these are all upadhis. Who you are is not a upadhi. You are the sun shining in the sky. It is the water which is rolling and therefore the reflection seems to be disturbed. But in the sun, no reflection, no water, no nothing. In the sun of consciousness, no body, no mind, no reflection, no thought, no nothing. Yourself. And you see every upadhi as it is, use it. If you don't ask me when you feel hurt by life, Swamiji, I feel deeply wounded. Deeply, not simply. Deeply wounded. Why? You are deeply identified. You will deeply identified. Wherever you are deeply identified, you feel deeply wounded. Superficially identified, superficially wounded. Madhava, do you understand? Please enjoy living. Enjoy living. That is why the fighting becomes unequal. What is the fighting become unequal? Is a fanatic religious fellow. With him, how do you fight? Suppose a fanatic religious fellow, but he comes and says, me, oh, your religion is stupid. Because I am understanding what? I understand myself as the sun shining in the sky. So let him say. How does it matter? Hey, but everybody is not like that. Then people who are starting to follow this religion, understand this reality, they will start getting hot. You understand? Then the problem comes. When the other person is committed to ignorance, see the difficulty. When the other person is committed to ignorance of the truth and therefore fanatic, you are struggling to get out of the relative levels. You want to see the absolute. But you want to see the absolute, he says, no, there is no such thing as absolute. There are only relative things and this is the only God, this is the only truth. You don't even allow the other people to grow. If you want your child to grow, shall you tell him, baby, these marbles that you are counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep with you all the time, even when you go to university. Will you say that? You want him to grow, no? To pacify himself, previously you are putting a pacifier in his mouth, now you put a finger in his mouth. 4, 5-year-old, he puts on, you don't help him to grow. Let him do that. So 24-year-old is putting a finger in the mouth and going. What type of growth you have helped in? But most religious find it easy. He is the God everybody must worship. Why? What's wrong with any type of God? What's wrong? Any form, any name. What type of God is that? Which is not all inclusive. But that is the trouble. When somebody is committed to ignorance and you are flexible. So suppose he blasts you off. You say, okay, it doesn't matter, this fellow doesn't know anything. But he is aggressive, continuously eating you up. That is why thinking. Every person must see for himself, or else you will have a huge target. Huge target. And a fanaticism target is, see the misfortune of it. The person who is a fanatic, terrorist, that type of thing, in the name of religious especially, in the name of religion, when somebody becomes fanatic and terrorist, he doesn't care about his father, mother, husband, child, friend, nobody. Some imaginary God. When he dies after killing few people, that God will embrace him. So the relationships, the relative relationships in this world means nothing. You understand what type of madness it can be? Total insanity. Total insanity. The highest level of selfishness. You understand? Highest level of selfishness. Because me. And me will be in company of some God somewhere. Rest, they can go to dog. Even your own parents will not believe. Your brother, sister, nobody believes in that. What can you talk? Are you getting that? Please. Anyway, see for yourself and see that you don't reduce the target, you disappear. Because you grow up in life with every thought, every possible ideas. But identification with nobody or nothing, no role. You use the role. Roles will drop out. You are not intolerant about it. Okay? Alright. We shall see more of it when I come back. Okay? I want to read. Just read the verse, we shall finish. Jale vapi sthale vapi Ruthatvesha jadatmakah Naham vilipyata dharmei घट धर्मै नभो यथा जले वापि स्थले वापि लुठत्वेष जडात्मक नाहं विलिप्य तद्धर्मैः घट धर्मै नभो यथा. So now he addresses himself. Yesha jadatmakah lutatu. This body, you know how he says, so much objectification. This body, yesha jadatma, this insentient body, unconscious, inert instrument, this one, lutatu, let it fall. Where? Jale vapi, sthale vapi. Whether it will fall in the water or fall in the mud. Time will run out, body shall pass. Best of your health, body will die. Worst of your health, body shall die. Ultimately, death must be finished. Life can be managed, but the death you cannot escape, no. Are you getting that? Life should be managed. As long as you are here, your body should be managed. But you cannot escape the death. So this body, lutadu, let it fall on the water or die, on the earth or they die, or let it go through anything. When it goes through, naham bilipyata dharmaihi. Whether I lie down under the bed, on the bed, under the bed, I sleep on the ground or on a mattress, this body, anywhere it is placed, it doesn't matter. You understand your flexibility. Oh, I cannot sleep unless there is a bed. Are you sleepy? If you are sleepy, you will not struggle for the kind of bed. Have you not seen people waiting in the airport 20 hours? Where do they sleep? On the floor. In one chair, folded up like a baby in the womb, snoring. Stranger's shoulders. He doesn't understand that this fellow is feeling inconvenient. He is like that. The leg goes somewhere. When you are tired, do you care you are under the truck with so much goods loaded? Snore. You know, when a person says, I can't sleep somewhere, what it means is what? He's not sleepy. Of course, if mosquitoes keep you alive, very difficult. You have to cover yourself, no? Okay. So, wherever the body is, you are comfortable. Shows your flexibility. Does not mean your love for inconvenience. You understand? The language is your flexibility, not your love for inconvenience. There are mosquitoes. Remove the mosquito and sleep. Please. Understand the flexibility. Anywhere, anything. Like a water, you find your level. How flexible the water is, you see. The water finds its level. You don't have to level the water. Do you have to level the water? Or water finds its level? Water finds its level. You find your level. You are with an ordinary person, ordinary. Extraordinary person, extraordinary. Simple person, simple. Rich person, happy with his riches. Unhappy person, unhappy with his unhappiness. I may not be rich, but the other person is comfortable with riches. Why should I make him feel that only poverty he should take care, then give him a guilt about poverty? Why? Other person is poor. Why talk richest language of luxury to that person? Stay with him. eat as what he eats, sleep where he sleeps. Understand? Flexibility. If you don't do it, one time your body has to go. Where? You don't know. How? You don't know. Only in air-conditioned meditation room I am with myself. Outside, very hot. I can't be with myself. Under the tree, when the cuckoos are singing, nice. Metropolis, difficult. You are at rest with yourself under all circumstances. So where the body falls, doesn't matter. What thoughts arise, makes no difference. Why? Naham vilipye tad dharme. Aham tad dharmena vilipye. I don't get stained, affected, touched by those things on which I lie down, where the body lies. Or when what happens to the body doesn't touch me. Like nabho dharma, ghato ghata dharmei nabho yatha. Yatha navaha, just like the space, ghata dharmeihi na lipyate, doesn't get affected by the pot. If the pot is round, the space is not rounded up. The pot is broken, it's not a broken space. The pot is stinking, it's not a stinking space. The pot is beautiful fragrance, it's not a fragrant space. Space remains unaffected. Doesn't matter what the pot is. Consciousness remains unaffected, doesn't matter what the body is. That is why your acceptance is complete. Where from you get this tolerance? In a tradition, in a culture. Because everything is fine. To such a culture, if there is an aggression comes to make people believe that only this is holy or only this is wonderful, you know what you are doing. Should the person convert these fellows or himself should be converted into a vaster identity? When a poor man goes to rich country, does he want to make the rich man poor or himself become rich? This is communism. Communists and these fellows, aggressive religious fellows, are one type. That's why they mix together. The philosophy of communism is not make everybody rich, destroy the rich so that everybody is poor. Distribution of poverty is the role. Why? Everybody should be same. How can you do that? In Russia, the communism failed. China, it failed. Now only in India, some 2 paisa communists are fighting. There's a lot of poverty there. One day that also will go here, nothing to worry. Yes, a beautiful ideal that everybody must eat same. I mean, there should not be huge difference. Beautiful ideal. Intellectual communal, socialism is not possible. That everybody must think same. It doesn't work. This much thought and no more. That is why a Solzhenitsyn will go up. Powerful writing. Sakharov, powerful writing. Tolstoy, powerful writing. Dostoevsky, powerful writing. Russians have produced the most wonderful novelists. If you read their books, I remember that Ulang Archipelago of Solzhenitsyn. What a book for which he got the Nobel Prize. Recently he died when he was in Europe. Wonderful man, writer. You cannot force people to think in the same way. Every intellect will soar into infinity. Nobody like intellectual bondage. by nature. Everybody like to be free. So, when you go to a communist, communism should not be distribution of poverty. Make everybody rich. So when you, religion, language also, should you make everybody poor by limited thought? Or should everybody be rich and be all-inclusive? You take for yourself. Should you make people exclusivists or all-inclusive? Which one is good? Everything is fantastic. Everything has a place. Even the person who begins with exclusive idea also has a place, because as a child you can't be all-inclusive. You have to begin with something exclusive, then go to the all-inclusive. You start with your village, your district, your country, then you discover, after all, the whole earth is only one place. The whole universe is one place. It's no more my village. Everything is one. That dimension. The world comes to see this, I tell you. What a beautiful place it will be. Each one happy with himself. You want to do that for somebody? First do it to you. Just like as long as intrapersonal conflict is there, conflict inside you, you cannot escape interpersonal conflict. Same way, in your belief system, as long as there is conflicting ideas, you shall not fix up anything. That is why religions with limited ideas can never solve world's problem. As much secularism will fail, that much these exclusive religions will fail to solve the problem of the world. When it is all-inclusive, it becomes fantastic. So everybody has a place, yet everybody is redundant. Okay? First see it for yourself. Body has a place, mind has a place, but your body is redundant, mind is redundant. Extend it to the whole universe. Close your eyes.